is a glorious day for this Sea-Link New Year motocross meeting here at Hawkstone Park, and I'm delighted to tell you that the course at which you are looking now is in absolutely prime condition. When we arrived this morning, it was bone hard with a very heavy overnight frost, but the sun has broken through, the surface has loosened, and no less a man than Dave Thorp has told me today that the conditions could hardly be better. It's a 1 mile course. There is Dave Thorp, double world champion of 1986 and 1985, riding his 500cc two-stroke single-cylinder Honda, on which he won the 1986 World Championship, and which produces very nearly 65 brake horsepower. Think of that. Alongside him there, number 15 is Tim Price, number 39 is Steve Bircher, who took a very nasty fall in practice this morning. Number 3, Mervyn Anstey, watch him. 5, Jem Watley, who is one of the top riders here today. Number 21 there, Mark Fulton on the Works Kawasaki, riding for Team Green. Barry Johnson, number 26. There are 40 riders in this event, and the way the start goes is that, as you can see, they have in front of them those T-bars. Each of those T-bars is held in position vertically by a split pin. When the starting official presses a gigantic pedal, all those T-pieces should drop into the ground, and away they go. This part of the course, the start, is unique to the start only, because they do not go over this section again after they enter. Lovely start. Now, this is a 20-minute race plus 1 lap. At the end of 20 minutes, a special flag is shown to them, and that means they've got 1 lap to go. Dave Thorp is already in second. Now he's in the lead. Dave Thorp is doing what he always does, if he possibly can, and that's almost invariably get out in the lead. So now the world champion and multiple British champion, including 1986, 23 years old, comes from Wokingham, and his father Keith, who looks after his bikes, is here with him today, having just got back from California, and Dave Thorp is on his way. So I think it's probably not so much a question of who is going to win as he goes into the bomb hole out to come through and complete the first lap. And there's a gigantic gap already between Dave Thorp, in a class of his own, but a good struggle going on for second place. And in second place at the present minute, it's Lawrence Spence, the Irish rider from Belfast on his Kawasaki. And well up there too is Richard Dye, the journalist. Now the ground is still very hard under their wheels, and if you take a fall here, you know all about it. Dave Thorp, look at this, there is the top stylist and the top rider of the day. With his chief competition, Audrey Malherbe, out, he's gone to Formula 3 car racing. Mervyn Anstey is in third position now. Number 3, the leading privateer in the world, Mervyn Anstey, who is on a KTM. Lawrence Spence in second position. So it's a Honda leading, a Kawasaki in second place, a KTM, and there it is in third position. Now look for the battle for second position between the Team Green bike. There it is. Go further back down the field. Team Green. Number 10, Lawrence Spence, look for him, and number 3, Mervyn Anstey. Spence on the Kawasaki and Anstey on the KTM. And in fourth position now, Andy Nicholls on a 250 Kawasaki. Stuart Coyle on a Yamaha is in fifth position, and Dave Watson, the British 250 champion, in sixth place on the unique 350 KTM. Anstey up into second position. Mervyn Anstey now up into second position. Number 3, 21-year-old Anstey from Newbury on the KTM. So Spence has gone missing. 5 minutes out of the 20 have been completed. You look at the brilliant Dave Thorp, who is riding, of course, for Honda in 1987. Indeed, as you look now at Mervyn Anstey, going through in second position, now ahead of Andy Nicholls on the Kawasaki in third place. Dave Thorp out so far ahead of all the rest, riding for Honda in 1987, is representing the Honda concern himself in 1987, because his late great teammate Andre Malherbe has retired at the age of about 30 to go car racing. We're expecting him to do very well in that too, in Formula 3. But that means to say that number one here, Dave Thorp's chief competitor in motocross, certainly for the last few years, is out. So Thorp is leading. There in second place is Mervyn Anstey on the KTM, and now on the 250 Kawasaki, Andy Nicholls. In fourth position behind Andy Nicholls, Dave Watson, the British champion. And in fifth place, Stuart Coyle on the Yamaha. Behind Coyle is Lawrence Spence, who was second and has dropped down to sixth place. Back with the leader, Dave Thorp. This is just a bit of a training run, I think, as far as Dave Thorp is concerned. Surprisingly enough, quickly as he is going, he will be taking things very easily by his standards. He's slightly rusty, because it's some time since he rode competitively in the World Championship Series of 1986. So he's using this to limber up. Does a lot of training, of course, in the winter. A lot of gym work, a lot of road running, because, as you can see, you have to be superlatively fit in motocross. Now, the way this motocross works today is that there are 3 20-minute races, or rather 3 20-minute plus 1 lap races. We are now halfway through the first of them. 10 out of the 20 minutes has been completed, with number one, Dave Thorp, very much in the lead. Finishers get points according to their finishing positions, thus 1 for first place, 2 for second, and so on. At the 3 races, the points are added, and the rider with the lowest points from 3 races, and he must have finished in all 3, is, surprise, surprise, declared the winner. So now, with about 11 minutes out of the 20 completed, it's number one, Dave Thorp, in the lead by an enormous margin. There are a couple of back markers who have already been lapped by Thorp. That is Mervyn Anstey on the KTM, with Thorp, of course, on the Honda. There, on the 250 Kawasaki, jolly good ride, Andy Nicholls in third position. Look at the bike of Dave Thorp. You'll see that what looks like a drum front brake there, as he goes through now, is actually a disc brake with a very sturdy plastic shroud around it. Disc brake on the front, disc brake on the back. There is about 12 or 13 inches of rear suspension travel, and about the same at the front, to give the rider as easy a ride as possible. But even so, their knees, their legs, their backs take a tremendous hammering. Their stomach muscles have got to be like iron, and Dave Thorp is fairly... Now, you saw there Dave Thorp reach up and rip off one of the little visors that he has as auxiliaries over the main visor. That's simply because they're getting muddied up. They'll start off with several of them in layers, with a tab sticking out. There is Andy Nicholls on the 250 Kawasaki, a man from Reading who's riding in the 250 Championship, World Championship, in 1987. And Thorp, meantime, is just going through these riders like a hot knife through butter. And when I tell you that the top 40 riders, nearly all of them, with the notable exception of Kurt Nickel, who is here as a spectator, are competing in this event, you'll see how quick Dave Thorp is. And just imagine having over 60 horsepower under your right wrist in the twist grip, with a bike weight of about 103.5 kilograms Honda, and riding at this speed with the effortless style of Dave Thorp. There he goes. But now Nicholls has gone up into second place. Andy Nicholls on the 250 Kawasaki, is up into second place ahead of Mervyn Anstey. There is Andy Nicholls. Now, let's see if we can spot Anstey. Well, this is a terrific ride from 21-year-old Andy Nicholls. Nicholls rides, believe it or not, with a steel plate in his thumb bone. And number 22, it's Mark Bennett from Cowley, who's dropped his 500cc Austrian KTM, out injured with a double broken wrist in 1986. But he's recovered all right for that. He was in 8th position, but of course he's right down now. Well, the 20-minute board is out. Thorp is on his last lap. Now, what about the gap between Andy Nicholls and Mervyn Anstey, now in 3rd position? Has it increased? Has it decreased? Well, look at the lead that Thorp has, because still the battle for second position has not yet gone through. There he goes. One lap now. Now, Thorp on his last lap. Where is Andy Nicholls? That could well be Andy Nicholls, and it is. Andy Nicholls, this is the excitement in the race. Andy Nicholls and Mervyn Anstey. Anstey on the KTM, Andy Nicholls, there he is, number 8 on the 250 Kawasaki. It's Nicholls in second position. Dave Thorp taking it relatively easily on the last lap. He's reduced speed a bit. There's every justification for doing so. He's still got 2 20-minute laps to go, which of course are sprints by his standards, because the Continental Grand Prix are each over 2 45-minute legs, and you really do have to be Mr. Iron Superman to ride in them. And that's what Dave Thorp is used to. Last lap then. Youth champion in 1977. The AMCA champion in 1978. The support champion in 1979. He broke his leg badly the next year, 1980. He rode for the Kawasaki Works team under Alec Wright, who's here today, looking after Team Green Riders. And then Dave Thorp went to Honda. He didn't look back much before he went to Honda, but he hasn't looked back since. World champion in 1985, world champion in 1986, and a very likely world champion in 1987. With a very cool, level head on his shoulders, almost within sight of the flag. Dave Thorp takes the flag to win, the first leg to get 1 point. And the battle between Nicholls and Anstey is at the flag, and Anstey's second. Anstey finishes 1 machine length in front of Andy Nicholls as they make their way back into the paddock now. So, a very clear-cut victory for Dave Thorp on the Honda, with Mervyn Anstey just taking second place on the KTM from Andy Nicholls. 4th, Jared Smith. 5th, Lawrence Spence. And in 6th position, British 250 champion Dave Watson.